What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel writing music reviews. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where we just chill and talk about all the things that we love or hate. And if you have anything you want to review, new, old, album, EP, single, whatever, leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I'll make it happen for you. But for today's review, we're going to be checking out the new album Fury by the band Upon a Burning Body. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this band, they're a metalcore, groove metal. Sometimes they have some deathcore influences thrown in there as well. And they're from Texas, started around 2005, and Fury is their 6th studio album. And I gotta admit that I tend to forget about this band. I love their music a lot, but their last album they came out with, Southern Hostility, just wasn't really my thing. There was a little bit too much of a Southern influence thrown in there, which you can't really blame them because, I mean, they're from Texas, but it's just not really my cup of tea. So going into this album, I was hoping that wouldn't be such a huge part of their music. And after I listened to their first single, A New Responsibility, I was completely blown away. It's one of the best songs I'd heard all year, even though it's only about halfway through the year now. It still had just so much potential for it. Oddly enough, A New Responsibility kicks the album off with intense drum work and a heavy riff. The vocals have a lot of dynamics, getting pretty low and then also going very high with distorted vocals. The chorus is heavy and very groovy. The lyrics make you want to scream along as the triplets just blast you away. And the bridge has a really nice guitar lead part to it, and it finishes things off with a solo, which I wasn't really expecting that much. And honestly, I don't really like guitar solos in metalcore and deathcore, but this just works. It sounded so good. Normally, guitar solos in this genre are like, hey, look at what else I could do on the guitar, but this one, it just fit the song very well. And then it goes straight into the next song, Snake Eyes. It has an intro that gets you pumped up, and the verse is very reminiscent of Pantera. And it doesn't change a whole lot until we get to the chorus where the pace is just picked up a little bit more, and the bridge is very slow. The tempo slows down a lot, and it mixes up the rhythm drastically. And the riff in the bridge is very nasty, and it matches the nasty vocals in the outro. And these two songs together are just so perfect for getting you started for what's to come. Shapeshifter starts out with a riff that has a lot of stops to it, and then it gets super chuggy in the chorus. The vocals have some high accents thrown in there just to mix things up a little bit. And the first breakdown is very unique in terms of just tone and style. And the second time the chorus comes around, it's a lot groovier. And the second breakdown has the same kind of music to it. It just slows down a lot. And the outro just reminds me a lot of something that Slaughter to Prevail would do. It's just so heavy, and the vocals get so low and growly. Then we have the song Meltdown, which has a staticky kind of riff in the intro. The verses have huge vocals and drums, and the guitar comes back into the chorus with a lot of aggression. The choruses are kind of stompy in this one with very, very catchy lyrics, and the breakdown is kind of inspiring lyrically, I guess. And the execution keeps this from feeling very repetitive. Even it sort of is repetitive lyrically, and just the way how it just keeps coming back around to the same kind of hook, but it just, I don't know, it just has this charm to it that keeps it from being dull. Thunderheart starts out with a Southern style riff in the intro, and the lyrics rhyme in this song, as they do a lot of songs, but this one just stood out to me a lot more because it matches the rhythm of the music. The chorus is cleans, which I wasn't expecting. They sound so good. Like, they fit the energy in the music and the distorted vocals as well, so it just keeps that power going throughout this entire song. Like, they're not trying to be something different and stand out and be huge and epic. They just fit in there. And the breakdown isn't overly heavy either, so it makes it fit in as well. So there isn't like a super heavy part of this song. It makes the clean stand out more, and they didn't go overly heavy with the breakdown. It's like all these different pieces were so perfectly placed in there. And the song finishes off with the last chorus and a guitar solo, which also works very well. I wasn't expecting it, but I don't know, their guitar solos are making me change my mind on guitar solos in metalcore. Then we have the song Kill the Ego, which has insane drum work in the intro. And I gotta just point out that all the drum work throughout this entire album is just over the top, insanely good. And the vocals in the verse go from snarling to guttural. The cleans and the distorted vocals in the chorus make it very catchy and very heavy while it kind of goes back and forth. The guitar solo fits the melody of the chorus, and it just, again, they found a way to make the guitar solo work within a song. And the breakdown is so full with some layering tricks and the music and the vocals, and it just makes it sound just so different. Like, they give it hills and valleys while filling those little valleys with just slightly quieter music instead of just emptiness, and it sounds beautiful. The song Clarity starts off slow and it tricks you because you think it's going to be a slower song, but it's not. It is still very heavy. The vocals are very brutal and in your face with a crazy dynamic riff. The chorus has some mainstream kind of cleans accented with distorted vocals. Like I said, this time they're a little bit more epic sounding, but again, it doesn't really take away from the song. It doesn't make it bad. It actually works very well. The pre-chorus has just a nasty deathcore influence to it in the vocals, which the whole song seems like it just kind of has more of a deathcore vibe, and the riff and just the vocals and the lyrics hit hard, dwelling on stuff like just depression and just negative thoughts. It's very relatable, I guess you could say, especially in this day and age with just a lot of negativity being thrown around. And then we have the song Sweet Serenity, which is just an instrumental. It gives you a little bit of time to breathe before we jump right back into it with the song Who Am I, with whispered, it's like snarling vocals and the intro that builds up into this huge riff. The verse is very quick and the chorus is very stompy, while the lyrics rebuke the life of like a rock star and just all this fame and fortune of like just being in the lights all the time. And the post-chorus is fantastic. It fades out a little, giving it a little bit more emotion. And this is one of those songs where even though it's kind of, it's sort of silly being like, no, I don't want to be a rock star, that's not the life for me. But it's a little bit more heartfelt than that, and it makes you feel it a little bit more instead of being like, hey, I'm super famous and I don't want to be, but I am, so look at me. Kind of like an Attila kind of theme vibe to it, but these guys just do it so much better, and it just means so much more. Code of Honor screams Lamb of God, especially the riff, and even the vocals kind of remind me of them. It sounds like Randy Blythe is featured in the pre-chorus, and the chorus does have kind of cheesy clean vocals to it, which gives it Upon a Burning Body fingerprints just a little bit, but it does remind me of something that would be off of Ashes of the Wake. I mean, even lyrically, singing about having a code of honor. I'm not really sure if that was their intention, but it worked, and I absolutely love it. Then we have the closing track, Humbling My Skin. It's very drum forward and becomes chaotic, and the verses resembling a theme of anxiety. And the riff going from the post-chorus to verse 2 is just, it's nasty. It's so sick. And the cleans in the chorus remind me of something that Fit for a King would do, Ryan Kirby. It's got his kind of vibe to it. While the breakdown is just old school classic deathcore. It's a super heavy song, but it does tone down just enough to make it feel like the album's like it's coming to an end. And it gives you that kind of resolution. And even the theme of the song being about anxiety, it all works out. It completes this entire album. There's so much to this album, from groovy riffs, dynamic lead parts, crazy drum passages, super low vocals, and higher distorted snarling vocals, well-placed cleans that don't feel overused or oversaturated for the sake of emotion. The lyrics all hit home without being too superficial or cliche, and they also rhyme, which helps fit the cadence of the music, helps move things along, makes it even groovier. Like, this album, as far as metalcore goes, one of my top albums has been Bleed From Within's Fracture, which came out, I believe, in 2020. And I just love how that album is just pedal to the metal. They don't let up. They just keep the gas going the whole time. Non-stop riffage, drum work, just crazy vocals. And I feel like this album beats that for me. This is just so much, there's so much groove to it. There's so much energy, so much passion. It just keeps going and going and going. And not only that, but it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting this album to be this freaking good. The one thing I don't really like about it is when they use the more mainstream sounding cleans in the chorus, but even then it was only used twice. So it's not like something you get tired of hearing. You hear it once and you're like, oh, that's kind of, they're doing that now. And then they just don't do it again. And then they do it one more time a couple songs later, and it just all works out. It all fits. So, I mean, it wasn't even that bad. So with all that said, I got to give Fury by Upon a Burning Body a 9.1 out of 10. As far as metalcore goes, I just can't get enough of this album. I can't get enough of how it's just not all radio rock, which a lot of the metalcore stuff has been lately. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Fury. Let me know what your favorite song is and what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Also, leave me a comment letting me know what I should review next. If you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on any of my future stuff, especially if you leave a requested review, which I've been getting a little bit more of those lately. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. That way you don't miss out on it, because sometimes that does happen and it just makes me sad, especially when I make the review and the same person comes back on a video after that review video and they ask me to review the video, the album I just did a review on. I'm like, I did it. It's back there a little ways. I already did it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was